Alright guys, what up? So if you guys are watching this video, I'm assuming that you probably want a motorcycle. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 5 things you guys need to know before you buy a motorcycle. That way I can save you guys some time, headaches, and possibly from buying a bike that you really don't want and having to sell it like a week later or whatever. I know you guys are excited, man. I've been there, but you guys definitely need to know some things before you actually just buy the bike. This goes for any bike. It doesn't matter what bike you're getting. This is any motorcycle. So yeah, let's go ahead and get on the bike now. Such a beautiful day for October, man. It's like 75 degrees, something like that. Great day to be on a motorcycle, man. Yeah, so the first thing, guys, is expect to spend a little bit more money than you initially thought. Have some extra money set aside. It's highly unlikely that you're just gonna buy the bike and that's it. That never happens. So whoever said motorcycles are cheap is a liar, man. That is just not true. First off, if you're looking to buy a bike like this, you're gonna have to consider insurance. Insurance costs a lot of money for a bike like this. Now, I paid up front for the entire year and I have a good driving record. Another motorcycle out. What I would do is call around and see how much it's going to cost for you specifically. That kind of depends on a lot of things. If you're a male, it's going to cost more money. If, you know, depending on your age, your driving record, there's a lot of variables involved. For me, it was $800 for the entire year. I just pay all up front just because it's actually a little cheaper that way. Now, if you're buying any other bike, like a cruiser or smaller bike or something like that, something that's not like considered like a high risk, like a bike like this, then you should be okay. Now, a lot of people too, when they buy motorcycles, they like to buy them used, right? If you guys buy a used motorcycle, sometimes you miss a few things, right? Let's say you bought a bike used, but you didn't realize the tires were 8 years old until you bought the bike. Now you got to buy new tires. And if you guys need help buying a used bike, click this video up here. I'll show you guys how to do that. Also too, I know that you guys like to modify your motorcycles. You want an exhaust system, a tune, etc., and whatever cosmetic stuff you want as well. That's going to cost money. And we haven't even talked about gear yet. You're going to need a helmet. You're going to need gloves, a jacket, which I don't have yet, but I'm gonna get, guys. I don't know why I don't have it, but anyways, so yeah, you're gonna need some extra stuff. A lot of people think, oh, bikes are cheap, man. Then they buy it and then they're dropping all this money into it. They're like, man, this is not cheap. I'm like, yeah, man, I told you. What is going on, man? All this stinging like all over my body. I don't know what is like going on right now, but anyways. Yeah, so I recommend that you guys get your license first, guys. Let me pop a ooey over here. I ain't waiting for the train. Oh, look at that guy. Bruh. That dude like went over the curb. So yeah, I recommend that you guys get your license before you get your bike. Let's say you're a beginner, you don't have much experience, and you think you want something like this, and then you go and take the class, you know, and then you're like, you know, maybe I don't want something like this. That way you go ride a bike in the class and you're like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be on a performance machine yet. If you're buying from a dealership, they're not even going to let you ride the bike unless you have your license. So if you want to test ride them, having your license is also a pro. You don't want to have to get your bike, then don't have your license, go out, and I know you guys are going to ride it, go out and start riding. Next thing you know, you get pulled over, and now you get a ticket, and then you're dealing with all this crap that you really don't want to be dealing with. So just do it the right way. Get your license first, then go look for your bike. Yeah, so make sure you guys do your research. And if you're watching this video, you're already doing your research. So hey, shout out to you. The reason why I'm literally on this bike is because of the research I did. I was gonna buy something else, actually. I was looking at an older bike, basically, that had some issues. I talked to the people that own that bike. I went out and looked at a few. I was like, oh yeah, I mean, maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe I should not buy this bike. I researched this bike. I was like, hey, you know what? This makes a lot more sense to buy. And the guy with the most info usually is the one that doesn't get screwed. You know, you don't want to buy a bike and then figure out, hey, 5 days later, you're like, you know what? I don't even want this bike. Then you got to sell it, got to take a loss for it. And it's just like a headache. Remember when I said in the beginning of the video, I want to save you money, headaches, and time? That's kind of what I mean by that. Make sure you guys are doing that research, man. Research is important. You're going to meet a lot of people when you ride bikes. Last night I went out with a friend and, you know, I took out my bike, took my bike to the bar with a friend. I don't drink or anything like that. Never drink and ride. Don't ever do that. People are going to gonna start coming up to you and be like, yo man, they're gonna tell you all these bike stories. Oh man, I was on one wheel, or this or that or whatever. Like I said, I literally went out last night. I had all these people telling me all these stories, you know, all this stuff they probably didn't do, you know how it is. There's a lot of ego with these things. But what I found out with these bikes specifically, this is their first bike and this is their first time riding. So my point is be careful who you ride with, guys. Be careful who you ride with. And sometimes people don't really know what they're doing. You ride with the wrong person. This actually almost happened to me. You ride with the wrong person and they might run into you. You want to trust who you're riding with, guys. You know, sometimes when I'm just meeting people, I don't really know them. I don't know how they ride. I don't know if they're reckless. I don't know what their experience is. And if they hit me or, you know, or whatever, or they're doing crazy stuff and then I start doing crazy stuff, I like to be very selective who I ride with. I think you should be really careful with that, guys, because a lot of the people that ride these bikes are maniacs, and sometimes they're just getting started, you know, and they end up ruining their lives because of a bike like this. These things are dangerous. They're fun, but they're also not a game, you know. They can be fun if you know what you're doing, but they can also be the demise of you if you don't know what you're doing. So you know what the hell you're doing, man. You know what the hell you're doing. I recommend that you guys kind of ride solo, especially if you're a new rider. So I'm not saying you got to do that the entire time, but just make sure you guys get comfortable with you and your bike first before you go ride with other people and do all this other stuff, you know, because ultimately it's your life, your bike, you know what I mean? So earlier in the video I said, hey man, insurance costs a lot for a bike like this. There's a reason for that, because there's a lot of people that do dumb stuff on this bike. I mean, this bike's designed to go fast, you know what I mean? So it's bad enough having one of them on the road. You get 4 or 5 of them together, man, then it's just a disaster. I'm not saying never do it, I'm just saying be careful. That tip right there could save your life. When you're buying a bike, make the right decision for you. Don't get influenced by all these other things, social media and all that stuff, to buy a bike you really shouldn't be on. Like I had somebody comment in a recent video, like, oh, anybody can start out on 1,000 if you're responsible. Look, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I am never going to tell you to do something like that. If you really shouldn't be on a bike like that, then don't be influenced by outside noise. There's a lot of noise with motorcycles. You got social media, you got, you know, when you go to the car show or bike show, oh man, you ain't on a 1,000, or you ain't on a, you know, that's just a 600, man. Sometimes women, they got an ego too when they ride. Like they think they're so, you know what, when they're on a 1,000. And I'm not calling any of you women out, I'm just saying, man. Another fellow foot. And that right there, if you guys saw that, that right there is why you don't speed. Because if I was speeding right there, going triple the speed limit, that guy pulls out in front of me, there's a good chance he doesn't see me, boom, go right into him. And I take this topic pretty serious. I've had friends that have started out on these bikes and they're fine, but I also just had a friend recently die, bought a bike that was a little too fast, you know, got him in trouble, and now he's no longer here. And it's just a sad story. The guys or the girls that I can talk out of buying a bike they shouldn't be on is really my ultimate goal. I really don't want to like influence people to like mess up their entire lives for a motorcycle. It's not really worth your life. For you men out there, most women don't care. Just because you're getting a sport bike or whatever, don't think, oh man, I'm gonna get all these women. Like, you know, it's not really like that. Although some do like it. Some women like guys that are willing to take risks out there, I will say. Guys like myself. Nah, I'm kidding. But I will say though, something about a woman on a bike is just attractive. But you know, they also have to be attractive. So that's 5 things that you guys should consider before buying a motorcycle, man. If you guys got any questions for me, leave it in the comment section. I've been there, man. I've been there. I know you guys want a bike. I know you're excited. All right, guys, that is gonna wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys leave a like on the video. If you guys want to subscribe, click this button right here. If you guys want to watch another video, click this over here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.